Yeah, I mean, I don't actually breed blowers now, but I used to for a long, long time, and yeah, I used to train them in the same way as we are now.
Is the nodding important?
Really, the more you can encourage them, the more to get them to respond.
No, they're not impressed.
You're right. It's only going one.
That one's for it. I think I'm blowing mine up bigger than yours.
She's very responsive, that. Yes, she is.
I like a responsive hen.
There you go.
Darwin is fascinated by the weird world of fancy pigeons. He thinks there might be a useful parallel between what the breeders do to pigeons and what happens in nature to wild animals. He's keen to tap into their knowledge. Darwin writes, "Since my admission into 2 of the London pigeon clubs, I have received the kindest assistance from many of the most eminent amateurs. Like Darwin, I found the pigeon breeders helpful.
I've got a little dovecot on the farm, and I was thinking about getting some fancy pigeons to live in the dovecot. What do you think would be the best?
You just want them to fly around. You want garden fantails.
They're the ones.
Yeah. Now, yeah, I know, but Mike, come on, be honest. I would fly mine out. They go up like dots in the sky, and they roll. I mean, they are a performing pigeon.
Where can I buy pigeons from? Obviously, you two guys.
The reason Darwin is so keen on fancy pigeons is that this extraordinary range of breeds originally comes from just one type of bird found in the wild. These are rock doves, and although they appear plain, they are the ancestor of all fancy pigeons. When the fanciers spot characteristics in their birds that they like, big tails, fluffy heads, or a funny way of bobbing up and down, then they breed just those birds. But the key thing is that the different types all begin with chance variations spotted by the fanciers.
You see, the eyes have got to be the same colour.
Did you often get them with different colours?
Well, with this being what they call a multicoloured bird, it's possible that the eye could be either black or orange, and as you can see, that's got an orange eye on that side, and it has on that side, so that's okay. If you'd got a slight blemish in the eye, that would have been a fault, and it would have been straight back into the pen.
So the breeding has to be very exact, so the breeders...
Oh yeah, it takes ages to breed a good one.
Yeah, so the breeders have to really look at their birds and think, well, that feature, I'm going to select that, and these will now be breeding birds, and the others I'll discard.
Yes.
So they're selecting all the time.
Every year you select the best and breed from them and select again.
Constantly improving, constantly improving.
Yes.
That's real artificial selection, isn't it?
Yes. Yeah.
This very selective breeding produces pigeons with more and more extreme features. One pigeon breeder told Darwin that he could create new feathers in 3 years, and a head and a beak in 6. All this outlandish variety has been artificially fashioned by the pigeon fanciers. But in the natural world, there are no humans to bring about these kinds of changes in animals and plants. Something else has to be responsible. Darwin is trying to solve a great mystery. He wants to find out how evolution happens, how species might change, and how this change is passed on to future generations. Darwin believes he has the answer.
It was a simple but brilliant idea that no one else had thought of. He called it natural selection. It's all about death and survival. And what's more, he could see it at work in his own back garden.
So that's where we're going. To recreate one of Darwin's most significant experiments.
Right. Where do you think?
Well, a few more yards, and we're set up there, I think.
I'll be helping Toby Beasley, head gardener at Down House, the home of Darwin.
No?
So what was the purpose of this experiment then?
Well, basically, we're trying to demonstrate a struggle for existence. And in this particular case, it's a struggle between plant seedlings and their natural predators and things that are going to destroy them.
Just like Darwin, We remove the turf from a rectangle just 3 foot by 2 foot.
That's it. I think just this corner. Oh, I'd take that one out.
I think Darwin has done it better than me.
Wow.
There we go. If we take all these little...
We're not going to plant any new seeds, just see what comes out of the soil.
Sticks in the corner.
And watch the seedlings as they fight to survive.
When you do something like this and reenact what Darwin's done, you really sort of get under his skin almost and begin to see what he was trying to achieve when you got your hands in the soil and going through the same steps.
And what Darwin found came largely down to very careful thought. So he was thinking about how things were working in the wild all around him, and then trying to find a method to demonstrate that in these small, very simple experiments.
It's classic Darwin. A handful of sticks, a wheelbarrow and a patch of turf. But it's about nothing less than understanding how the natural world works.
From now on, we'll mark everything with a piece of wire. From March, roughly every month, we'll note how many seedlings die.
Darwin's weed patch experiment is prompted by the brutal ideas of a political economist. Thomas Malthus was alarmed at the large numbers of poor people in places like the slums of East London. He calculated that the number of humans on Earth would double in just 25 years. Eventually, if left unchecked, the population would overrun the planet. The only reason the population hadn't run out of control is death. Death of the weakest through starvation, disease, and war. Darwin's superb insight is that a similar struggle to survive rages throughout the natural world. Deadly assassins stalk the seedlings. Slugs, torrential rain, drought. The best hope of survival: outdo your neighbour. Taste bitter to deter the slugs. Grow faster and grow tougher. Those who survive might live long enough to reproduce and pass on their successful characteristics to the next generation. This is the process Darwin calls natural selection. He writes, "It is difficult to believe in the dreadful but quiet war going on in the peaceful woods and smiling fields.